Hi everybody, this is Doll Dazzler and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I've decided to share with you guys some puppets that I have made. I've kind of incorporated them into my doll collection, and I have also made some of them for a couple of costumes for Halloween and the zombie crawl in Colorado. So I'm going to start over here with this pink one here. She was kind of like the inspiration that started me kind of making puppets, and I kind of want to expand on this because I really had a good time making these. But for one Halloween, a friend of mine and I decided to dress up like Day of the Dead. And so I had made these they're kind of like baton puppets in a way, except for the fact that, or rod puppets they're called, except for the fact that there's nothing that supports the arms. There's not a rod that supports the arms. They're just held up by and moved around by just a baton. So I made these to be identical to the costumes that I had made. She of course has the other side. I can share pictures with you guys, but my costume looked almost pretty much identical to this puppet, with the exception that I didn't have bones. But so I made her look exactly like my costume. So my little miniature puppet, I just held her as I was, I think that the first time I wore this costume, I went to a club. So I had her along with me, and it was like a little miniature version of my costume. So what I had done is I went to the dollar store, and I just got, that year, they had these skeletons. I think they had them in green, purple, and then this pink. And I had thought about making like a little marionette or puppet, and to go with my costume. And so I was like, well, as she's pink, she matches, my costume was fluorescent pink, and it actually lit up my hat. I do still have this costume, I believe. It might be in Colorado with my sister. I don't know if I brought it with me, but I had like a big top hat, and all of this, everything that the hat has on it is everything that my hat looked like, and with the exception of mine lit up. I put lights in it. So this is an exact duplicate of that costume. And so I had got the skeleton from the dollar store and ribbon, and this top hat is just made out of paper. And then I painted the Day of the Dead skull face on there and put some rhinestones in the eyes. And so yeah, I'll share the picture with you guys in another video, and maybe show you again how close this looked to the costume. So pretty much everything matched, with the exception of I did have on a dark velvet type. It was a short velvet dress up with all the crinolines underneath it. So other than that, it's pretty identical to this puppet. So this was actually the puppet that inspired me to start making puppets, and I'm actually going to be making some more, but I want to do more. I think maybe not just the skeletons, but then start adding, and I'll show you on a couple of these other ones here that I started adding some actual stuff to the outside of the skeleton to make it look more real. So that's the first one. This costume was called Pink Lemonade, and I was the pink and my friend was the lemonade, and so she was fluorescent yellow, and hers matched her costume as well. So I think she does still have her little puppet. So that's that one. The next one that I have, it's the same kind of an idea. All of these puppets are made on like batons. So, and these are actually just, if I can show it to you up close, they're just dowels, and they're wrapped with ribbon, and then the ends would just have these little pom-poms on them that you can get from Hobby Lobby, and then these really cool little hanging ribbons that I kind of steamed them to be curly. They don't have any metal in them. They're just, I steamed them to be to have curls in them. And then so then this one, it is, again, she's a little bit bigger. These other ones are a little bit larger than that first one. The dollar store did not offer they didn't offer any more of the little skeletons, and I was kind of bummed out because I was hoping that they would still sell the littler skeletons only in like the more realistic color. But anyway, so this one's a little bit bigger. Same idea. I did Day of the Dead. Her jaw does not open like the other one, but so I did all of the painting on there and added the rhinestones for the eyes, and then I used some doll hair and some big pom-poms up on top, and big pom-poms then down here on her feet as well with ribbons, and then some feathers for the skirt. She was a lot of fun to make, and I probably will be selling these because I plan on making a lot more of these, and so I would like to be able to sell them. Oh, I also used some these little wings I got from Hobby Lobby. So she's like a fairy skeleton. Okay, and then the next one. So these next two, these were, I'll do one at a time. I had made these to go along with my costume for the zombie crawl. The zombie crawl is in October in Colorado, and my friend and my husband and I, we would do costumes and go to that event. And so one of our costumes, well, my costume, I think it was 2 years ago. I'll see if I can get the find the video online and on YouTube of where we were spotted that year, because somebody did videotape us, and so you would actually get to see what our costumes looked like as well. But I was the Mad Hatter as a zombie, or not the Mad Hatter, I'm sorry, the White Rabbit. I was the White Rabbit as a zombie, and so I had made these puppets to go along with my costume. And so this is the Mad Hatter, and so what I had done is I had purchased two skeletons. Actually, I purchased a skeleton head and a regular skeleton body that was smaller, and so the body is actually the size of the last fairy, skeleton fairy that I showed you. And then I replaced the head with this larger head because the Mad Hatter's head is much larger than his body. So I orchestrated it so that I could get that head to stay on this body. And then also what I did was, so here's his costume here. His costume is just made out of felt and ribbon. And so I didn't do anything with his feet, but so then on his face, what I had done is they have these eyes now, these googly eyes that look more realistic, so I used those, and then so I put those in first, and then I took some latex and some of the scars that you can buy during Halloween time, and I actually formed it onto the face to make it look like it still had some skin on it. But since this is the zombie girl, I didn't want it to be, you know, I didn't want him to have flesh all over. So here's one of those scars that I just kind of, I attached it to the skull face, and then I blended it in a little bit with latex so it has more of a real feel to it. And then I painted it and painted the teeth and got some of this stuff painted in here to make him look more realistic. And then added some doll hair on there. And then his hat, I found this, I was lucky to find his hat at a Goodwill store. And I don't know how I managed to find, it was like the perfect hat. And so then I just added this you know, the Mad Hatter's little sign on his hat. And that's the Mad Hatter. And then this is his stick. So this is, again, it's just a dowel just wrapped with, I first used, I think I used a duct tape on there because this is a thicker stick, so I must have put two together. And then I just wrapped black ribbon across the top of it. And then he's just hung by the string. And then I have my Alice. And Alice has the same thing. Let me show you her. I have to get it unwound. She's got quite a bit of ribbon up at the top here, so she can get tangled up. Okay, so her stick, again, it's a little bit thicker, so I did it with some probably duct tape to hold the two together, and then I just wrapped it with some iridescent ribbons, and then topped it with those pom-poms again. And then there's the special ribbon that I was able to find for her. So she is, again, she's just one of those skeletons, plain skeletons from the dollar store. These were very, very cheap to make. They didn't hardly take anything to make them. And so I got some, that's just so you can see where the skeleton, I didn't do anything underneath. I got some fabric, since it's really small, all I had to get was just remnants from the, I think I even got that at Walmart. There's the Walmarts have that, the fabric section now, and so I was just looking for just some blue remnant, and I found this really shiny blue. So I just cut that out, and this her apron is made out of felt, and so I just added some little some little ruffles around here and there, tied it with a bow in the back, rhinestone. And then her face, it's the same thing as the Mad Hatter. So I was able to use those, they look more real, these these little eyeballs. And I made her eye look more real on one side, but again, this was for the zombie crawl, so I wanted to make it look really like she's a zombie. So I took some of those scars and the latex, and I put it all together and painted it. And then I got some, I think I had purchased just a yellow wig, and I cut it out and put it on the head for her hair. And then her little black headband. Kind of just, this also is good because it hides the seam of her hair, even though I think it would have been fine without it, but since that's part of the costume for her. So that's Alice. And then her stockings, this is so cute. I think I used, I had quite a bit of these, these doll, since I have a lot of dolls, these doll, like leggings. And I made these shoes out of like a styrofoam felt. And so I just used that and made them like little knee-highs and capped them off with some lace. So that is Miss Alice. And then the last puppet that I want to share with you is a clown puppet. And he's a little bit difficult to deal with, but because he has a secondary function. And let's see if I can get him to stand up here. Give me just a second here. Okay, so this is the same thing for him. His baton is, again, it's just a dowel, and the end here is the same. This is the secondary function that this one has. Again, because I like the Mad Hatter look on the other one, what I had done was I did a larger one, and I stuck a big head on this puppet. But his mouth has the ability to open and close. I made it so that it would open and close. And so what I had done is I used this little, this is like fishing line, and a little hook on there, or a little, it's like a little, I don't know, little holder. And when I unwind this, it has the ability to open and close his mouth. And then when I don't use it, I just wind it up and I stick it on this little pom-pom here, holds it secure. So that's that. And then on this end is just, again, the same of these ribbons. And then the actual string that holds him up. So let me show you him up close, and then I will try to get the function to work on the camera. Well, his mouth is open now. I don't know if I can do it right this very minute. Let's see if I can do it. Takes me a minute to get it unwound here. Sometimes it works. It's been in storage for a little bit, so I will see if I can get it to work. I don't know if I can get it to work while I'm looking at him. Let's see. So I need to put this down for a second. Okay. So let's see if I can get it to work. Sometimes it sticks just a little bit. Okay, so his mouth should open, and it might be just because of the angle that I'm at. But his mouth is open now, and then here's the string that I have, and it should open and close. It might be a little bit tight just from being stored, but that's the idea behind it. So his mouth will reopen after it probably has been out of the box for a little while. I just did take him out. So that string, it actually holds him. His mouth, it opens and closes. And that string, it goes through his hat right here. And then it goes straight through his head all the way down. And then if I open his mouth, you can probably see that line right there. That's where the line is, and it hooks to the bottom jaw. So it has the ability then to, very simple design to do, very easy to do. And he's sticking. I don't know why his mouth is sticking, but he usually, I can get him to chatter. It's pretty cool. And so then it is that same design. He's got a bigger head, again, like that Mad Hatter. And I did all the painting on this one. Again, using that, I like the I love the Day of the Dead type things. So I'm totally inspired by all of the different designs that they have. And so I had just used some red paint, white red paint. I lined it with some rhinestones. And then this again is just doll hair. And then just remnants of fabric from the fabric store. And larger ribbon around his neck and feet and arms. And then the hat is just I think I got that at Walmart for like $1 or $2, something like that. So these are very, very cheap to make, but they're a lot of fun. And the rhinestones are probably the more expensive part of the paint. And then I put some rhinestones inside of the eyes as well. So that is the skeleton clown. So if you guys like these puppets, please like and subscribe. If you guys have any ideas for puppets that I can make, please leave it in the comments. I need some new ideas. I like the fairy idea, but I want to try something completely different. So if you guys have any ideas for me, please leave it in the comments. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.